You're welcome to Restore Institute. We are going to continue with our module of cost accounting, and we shall continue to look at our topic of material valuation. So we talked of three methods of calculating that are used in material valuation. So we say that we can find the price of the price of a material using FIFO, that is first in, first out, and then we can also use LIFO, that is last in, first out. But then today we are going to look at weighted average method. So this weighted average method, it's one of the methods that is used in in material valuation. So we see that this method employs the average price, that is after every purchase. You see every purchase, an average cost is computed using the total balance and the quantity. So whenever you incurred in new purchase, what does it mean? To have the price, the price per unit, the one that you're going to consider, it means that you will, the one that you will use to issue out the new products, you will have to first compute for it. How do you compute it? You use the total balance, you divide it by the total quantity. And then we see that the ruling price, that is weighted average price, is dividing the total cost of material. You get the total cost of material in the store by the total quantity of material that are in the store for you to be able to get the ruling price. And then we see that alternatively, we can also use a simpler method which can be adopted where the weighted average price at any time is the balance value figure divided by the balance units figure. So you get the balance unit figure, the balance value figure, you divide it by the balance unit figure. The balance value figure divided by the balance unit figure. And then we see that this method tries to even out the effects of price fluctuation. It is quite different. We see that this method is quite different from other methods of FIFO and LIFO. So in that, for every receipt, there is the need to arrive at a new ruling price. So whenever you have a new receipt, whenever you have a new purchase, you have to come out with the new ruling price. It's not like FIFO. For FIFO, you have to first consider the price of the first goods that are purchased. You make sure that they are done. And then for LIFO, you have to make sure that the last price after purchasing, the last price is what you use. But then here you have to get the ruling price. How do you get the ruling price? We say that we get the total. We say that we get the total of the total of the cost of materials. The cost of materials, we divide it by the total of the quantity of the materials that are in the store. So let's do our illustration. We have here Shalom Company Limited purchased the following stock in 2020 in the month of January to April. So they are telling us that on 1st January we had 200. We opened up with 200 units at 100 each. And then on 10th of January, we issue out 80 units. Then when we come to 6th of February, we purchased 130 units at the price of 130 per each. And then when we come to 15th of February, we issued out 100 units. And then also on 30th of March, we also issued out 60 units. So on 25th of April, we bought more units at 145 per each. And then also on 30th of April, the same month, we issued out 200 units. So they are telling us required to prepare a store's ledger account of the company using the weighted average method. So we are going to compute for the price. We want to get the price of the materials. Then we are going to use the method of weighted average method, but they've told us to construct a ledger account. So when you're doing the ledger account, what does it mean? You have to indicate the name of the company, and then also the methods that you have used. So in the illustration, they've given us that it is Shalom Company. So you put Shalom Company Limited Store Ledger Account. Which method are you using? We are using weighted average method. So this is the format. We have the receipts, and we have the issues, and we have the balances. So we have the date, we have the under receipts, we have the quality, the quantity, the price, and then the amount. So under issues, we have the same, the quantity, the price, the amount. And then under balances, we also have the same, the quantity, the price, and then the amount. So on 1st of January, they are telling us that we had 200 units which were at the price of 100 per each. So when you multiply, you get 20,000. So under balances, we come and put under balances. So we have 200. We remain with our 200, and then the price also remained the same, and the amount remained the same, which is 20,000. So on 10th of January, they are telling us that we issued out 80 units at the price of 100. So where are we getting this 100? It means we are using the price of the purchase that we had. So which is we had at the price of 100. So that's why we are using 100. So when you multiply, we get 8,000. So it means that the balance we shall remain with 120. Where are we getting the 120? We got this 200. We had 200 minus the 80, which we get 120 at the price of 100. So when we multiply, we get 12,000. We want to get the balance of the amount. So you get this 20,000 minus the 8,000 to get the 12,000. So they are telling us that on 6th of February, we purchased more, which was, we have 130 units at the price of 130. So when you multiply 130 times 130, we get 16,900. So the balance, what are we getting in the balance? We have bought more. It means that we are going to add. When you buy, you add. When you issue out, you subtract. So when you get your 120, you get the 120 plus 130, we get 250. So we have, and then you come and get the amount. So you get 12,000 plus 16,000 plus 16,900, which we shall get 28,900. So to get the ruling price, remember we said that to get the ruling price, you get the total cost divided by the total quantity of the material in the store. So this is our total cost in the store, which is 28,900. We shall divide by 250 to get the ruling price. So we got 11,000. When you divide this divide by this one, we shall get 115 115.6, 115.6. So this will be our ruling price. This will be our ruling price. So they are telling us that on 15th of February, we purchased 100, we issued out, 100. So this 100, we are going to sell it at which price? Remember, we have come up with our ruling price. So we are going to sell it at the price of the ruling price, which is 115. We issued out, so we are going to sell it at the ruling price, which is 115.6. So when we multiply, we get 11,560. 11,560. So to get the balance, we subtract. You get 250 minus the 100 to get 150. And then the ruling price remain the same since we have not bought new, we don't have new purchase, so we go with the same. We have the same, it remained the same, the ruling price. And then to get the balance, we get 28,900 minus our amount of the issue, which was 11,560, which we got 17,340. 17,340. So we go to our next date. They are telling us that on 30th of March, we issued out more 60 units. We issued out more 60 units. The ruling price. So what is our ruling price? It means that we have not bought new. Remember, this ruling price, it applies when you buy new purchase. When there is new purchase, then you come up with the ruling price. So we are still using our old ruling price, which is 115.6. So we multiply, we get 6,936. 6,936. To get the balance, we get the 150 minus 60. Minus 60, the one that we have issued out, we are left with 90. And then we remain with the balance of 90. So to get the balance, we get 17,340. 17,340 minus 6,936, which we get 10,404. So on 25th, they are telling us that on 25th of April, we purchased more units, 300 units at the price of 145. So to get the amount, we shall multiply, and then we got 43,500. So to get the balance, we shall add. Remember, when you purchase, you add it to your balance. So you get the 90 plus 300, which we shall get 390. And then we come and get the balance of our amount, which we say 100, which we say 10,404 plus 43,500, which we shall get 53,904. So to get we are saying that on 30th of April, we issued out 200 units. So we need to get the ruling price. We need to get our ruling price. Remember, we have incurred in new purchase. So whenever you incur in new purchase, we need to calculate for the ruling price. So how are we getting the ruling price? We say that we are getting the total cost of materials. We divide by the total quantity of the materials. So this is, we get 53,904 divided by 390, which we got 138.22. So it means that this becomes our ruling price, our new ruling price. It means we are going to issue out these products of ours, these materials, we are going to issue using the new ruling price, which is 138 0.2. So when we multiply, we get 27,643. So to get the balance, we subtract, we say 390 minus the 200, which we get 190. So the ruling price remained the same. It remained the same. And then the amount we get, the amount we also do the same. We subtract, we say 53,904 minus 27,648 to come up with our amount. So our amount is 26,261. So let's calculate for the value of the closing stock. What is our closing stock? So to get the amount for the closing stock, you get the last price, the value of the last quantity, which is 190 times the new price times the ruling price, which is this. So you get this times this to be able to get this one. So when we do that, we see that 190 times 138.2 is our new ruling price. When we subtract our last price, when we multiply it will give us 26,261 Ugandan shillings. So what does this mean? It means that your closing stock should be the same. If you want to prove your answer, your clothing stock should be the same as the one that you've got in your balance. Should be the same with your last balance. If it is not the same with your last balance, it means that you made error somewhere. So the value, they are telling us to come up with the value of material used. How do you come up with the value of material used? You get the total value of material purchased in the period minus the value of the closing stock. So what do? You add all the purchases, all the materials that you have purchased, the value, the amount, then you add. After adding, we got 80,400. 80,400 we subtract by the closing stock, which is 26,261, which we get 54,138. So that is how we come up with the value of material used. So let's look at the merits. What are the merits of using this method? We see that it evens out fluctuates in the price of materials. So these methods help us in case of fluctuation. For it changes. For it, you have to find out for the new ruling price. You don't go with the old one, or you don't go with the new one. What does it mean? You have to divide. You divide it equally, and then you come up with the new ruling price. And then we see that the use of method is not limited to material with stable prices. So it is not limited with materials with stable prices. Those materials that their prices do not change, it is not limited. And then we also see that it presents a fair indication of stock value. It always presents the fair indication of stock value. And then we also see that a new ruling price is calculated only when there is new receipt of the stock. So when there is no new receipt of the stock, you will not look for the ruling price. So you only calculate for the ruling price when you have purchased a new stock. So let's look at what are the demerits of using this method. We see that it is very difficult to operate. It is very difficult to operate. And then we also see that the ruling price often involve many decimal places, which cannot give you accurate answer. You find out that when these decimal places are very many, you find out that it may not give you the accurate answer, since you're going to round off. So when you round off, when you multiply again, it will not give you the exact figure. It becomes very challenging. And then we also see that issues to production and other uses may not reflect current economic value. It may not reflect current economic value since you come up with a new ruling price. So You can try out this question, which you will need to you use you calculate for the FIFO. You calculate the FIFO using FIFO method, using LIFO method, and then also weighted, average, also weighted average. Thank you for joining in. Have a great day.